Shalom, dear friends. Return for another lesson from Rebbe Nachman. How great it is to spread the words of Torah, to learn the Torah. And this is a beautiful lesson, very short. Eile Maseh. These are the journeys, as it says in Bamidbar 33:1. Kol hanesiois v'hatiltulim shel adam mehein bishvil kilku hamuna shu bechinas avodah zara ki im haya me'amin ve'amuna shlema sheyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu lehazmin lo kol tzarcho lo haya noseya shum nesia. All of a person's journeys and all the traveling around that he must do are because of blemish in emunah, faith. This is the same concept as idolatry. For if a person believed with perfect faith that the Holy One, blessed be He, could supply him with all of his needs, he would not undertake a single journey. It says in Likutey Tfilos in this lesson that where it's explained that if a person's faith and trust Hashem were as they should, he would not undertake any action or any journey whatsoever for his livelihood. So a person with perfect faith realizes that he doesn't need to travel to go and do this business appointment, to go and make that connection. He realizes that Hashem is in charge of the world. He has perfect faith that Hashem will take care of his needs. We said here, a blemish in faith, a blemish in emunah is the aspect of a concept of idolatry, right? If you don't have faith in Hashem, that He can provide for you and take care of you, that He is taking care of you in your life, that's like worshipping idols in a way. So it's a very bad thing to have a blemish in faith. Therefore we must work on our faith. Rebbe Nachman says, and elsewhere, that a person speaks about emunah, faith, it inspires him, it elevates him as well. If he speaks to his chaver, his friend, and says, have faith in God, in your life, Hashem is there, He's watching over you, you don't realize and appreciate what you have. By saying this to your chaver, this is affecting your neshama as well. Okay, so this blemish in faith makes a person to travel. So he feels he needs to travel in order to find livelihood, in order to find connections in his life. He feels empty unless he's constantly going this place, that place. As soon as he gets home from work or yeshiva, he gets in the car, he goes somewhere, and then he travels again and again and again. He never stops. He can't sit still. Okay, this is a rectification, as we see. But a person with perfect faith, he doesn't feel this need to go here or there. He knows everything he needs is to sit and learn, to sit and study Torah. So sometimes through a person's traveling, he rectifies or compensates for the journey or disturbance, so to speak, that he caused on high. Since it's a punishment for a wrong, and this is a rectification, as we learn elsewhere. Therefore, a person's journeys atone for defects in his emunah, his faith, and through these journeys he rectifies and mitigates the divine anger in the world, eliciting divine compassion upon the world. So this traveling is at that point when a person does already have this blemish in faith, or he's done a major sin, this traveling becomes a rectification. So otherwise it's really not a good thing. But at a certain point, a person needs that in order to lift up the sparks as he goes. It's a great thing to lift up sparks in different places. They say a blessing. They think about God here or there, all around. This can be a great thing at that point. But all this and more can be accomplished by not moving from your place. Also, as a result of imperfect faith, which is the same concept of idolatry, rains are withheld. There is no satisfaction and no peace, and people do not help one another. Instead, each person must travel from place to place for his livelihood, right? Because of that lack of emunah, faith. A person has faith, everything he needs is going to come to his doorstep. Idolatry also causes the rains to stop. And where there is no flower, there is no Torah. It says in Avos. Then, through the interruption of the Torah study, exile comes and people wander the roads. As is written, my people have been exiled for they lack knowledge. It says in Isaiah 5:13. So this idea is coming from where it says here, where there is no flower, there is no Torah. Okay. So a person who feels the pain of and stress of a lack of livelihood. He's not able to concentrate on his Torah study. Okay? So, right, so where there's no flour, there's no Torah. Okay? The biggest strife that between a married couple is the lack of money. It says in the Talmud, this lack of money, worrying about money causes the strife. Okay? And it says in the Talmud that there was a case of a sage, and he was upset at his students because some of them left, some of them didn't leave the Torah, and they waited until they were in tremendous debt before they would go and take a parnasa, and therefore they had to leave the Torah completely. Whereas if they would have worked just a little bit and made that kli, that vessel for God to fill with parnasa and shefa and blessing in their life, they would have been able to continue studying. It's a very complicated aspect, but really it's not complicated. So, where there's no flour, there's no Torah. Right? But you can reverse that too, because if there's no Torah, there's going to be no flour. If there's no faith in God, there's no flour. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he did not, says it, he did not have to go and leave the base measures of Torah study in order to go and pray, because his Torah study was on the level of prayer included in it. He did not have to worry about a livelihood, because it came to him when we were in the deserts and we were getting the manna, the shefa from heaven, and the food. The people who were the most righteous, who had faith, the manna came from heaven and went right to the doorstep. They didn't have to worry about livelihood because the faith was there. And those people who didn't have faith, they had to go out and they had to go and bring it in. They had to cook it. But for the sage, it was prepared. So we see a person who doesn't have faith, he has to go out, he has to journey, he has to rectify this, that, and that, but someone who has a murah will see in their life, someone who has faith will see in their life that you don't have to complicate your livelihood. God is watching you every step. He's going to provide you what you need. Put the Torah first. It says in the Talmud, the Torah has to be first and work has to be secondary. It says, why was this generation, it says in the Talmud, why was this generation better in learning and life than the generation after? Because the generation after put the work first and then the Torah study comes after. First, I have to provide them for my family. Right? If there's no flour, there's no Torah. But they saw that as like flour comes first, but it's not like that. The generation that had the Torah, not only did they have the Torah, they had the parnasa, they had the livelihood as well, because they put the Torah first. Okay, they understood that first comes Torah and then comes work, and then God is going to take care of you. And because they had that faith, they had both the Torah and the livelihood. I found in my life many cases, many days in which I fell from my level in sin, and that Baruch Hashem should forgive me. When I fell from my level and made mistakes that day, I found that Hashem was giving me opportunities to travel, and I remembered this Torah, and I grabbed those opportunities to travel, because I knew by traveling around and making blessings and serving God now, in like an exile, that will rectify my mistakes, and then I could start over better. The sages, the holy Hasidic rebels, back in the 1800s, they would take upon themselves a wandering, and go from town to town as in hidden garments, not revealing their true worthiness and level. And they would learn and study. Sometimes spend a few weeks here, a few weeks there. They did this in order to go and to bring a rectification for the sin. And how do you, the Shekhinah, the divine presence today, is in wandering. It's in exile. So it's wandering from place to place. it's not whole by the Kloisel, by the western wall, by the Beis Hamikdash. So it's in wonder. It's wondering. So a person wants to attach themselves to the Shekhinah at the highest level. Some rebels would take upon themselves this exile in order to go in and make that attachment. Since okay, so this idea of traveling is an idea of rectification and tikkunim and fixing one's averos. But I learned also in life, there's certain weeks where God doesn't give me so many necessary unnecessary chores, so to speak, and I therefore I end up having more time to just spend at home, and having this understanding of this Torah, I stopped complaining about it. I said, Baruch Hashem, I don't have to travel. It means I'm doing a little better. Hashem doesn't need me to go and make these rectifications. I can go and study and have faith and emunah right here, and what I need will come to me. So I also see that aspect of this Torah as well. So a person should be happy they don't have to travel. Traveling is not, people are going on vacation here, there. I'm happy to not have to go to a hotel, a 4-star hotel. I'd rather be in my 2 or 1-star house than to have to go and travel and have the responsibility, the big responsibility to travel. It says, Rabbi Nachman teaches that a person who travels, he should be more careful going to the mikvahs, be more careful with shmiras einayim, watching his eyes and being pure, because there's many more obstacles. The kashrus, people they travel, a lot of people hold this, and I don't know what makes them think that this is an excuse. They figure if I'm traveling and going to different people's houses, I don't have to be as strict in my level of being kosher. People think came up with a concept. I'm kosher inside my house. I'm kosher. Outside I'm not kosher, but inside I keep. So that means basically every time you go out of your house, you're putting your soul in danger. Because there, you suddenly think that somehow you're free from serving God, from following the Torah. I mean, come on. A person should be even more strict, more machbid when they're traveling, and more careful to guard their soul, because it's dangerous. People don't know who you are. Therefore, you can be more prone to sin, because you think, well, no one will see me. So what do I have to lose? So therefore, traveling is a very dangerous thing. And at the same time, it's a very holy thing. And so therefore, it should be seen for what it really is. And it says in the Zohar that when they traveled, they always went with a partner. Ada would go with Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer would go with Rabbi Shimon. They would travel in pairs or in 3 people, because then the Shekhinah would accompany them. They would not travel alone. But today, people are traveling alone. So they're open to so many variables that could happen that would not guard their soul. Person has to make a gate around themselves. If you go out, you're supposed to be more machbid. You should to learn Torah. I said I came up with this Torah. It says in the Shema, "B'shivtecha v'secha v'lechtecha v'derech." B'shivtecha v'secha. Why is it first that you're supposed to go and study Torah in your house, and then it talks about going out and studying Torah? First, you have to go and fix yourself in your house, so you can know how to serve God and make attachment here where it's in a way safer, and then you can know how to travel. And once you learn how to go and study Torah first in your house, in your regular setting, then when you go out, you'll be able to take those vacations, because the Torah will be the same to you. When you go out, you'll put on your MP3 player, you'll go and you'll surround yourself with mitzvos, you'll guard yourself. But if you don't have a shita v'esach, if you're not able to do the right thing in your house, in your regular daily schedule, how dare you take a chance to your soul to go traveling, all gallivanting to the beach, this and that. Say, well, no, I'm going to go to the kosher section of the beach. I'm not going to see anything. And then you're traveling all along, you see everything. And then you decide, oh, you know what, I don't need to go to the kosher section of the beach. If you can't do a shidduch v'secha, if you can't guard yourself and be connected to the Shekhinah and have that desire for godliness in your life and put the Torah first, in your regular setting, your regular life, you don't deserve that vacation, because that vacation is very dangerous to you. But should you already have a shidduch v'secha, then when you go v'lechtecha there, you're able to attach yourself to the exile of the Shekhinah, because the Shekhinah is in the exile. You're able to seek her out and find her and rectify her with brachos and mitzvos wherever you go, and it's a great, great thing. So that's my twist on this Torah. I hope you enjoyed it. Shalom, shalom.